'Tis I. Hey everyone, glad to see you back, glad to see you looking fresh, and today I'm going to be talking about Pajama Sam once again here on my humongous retrospective, my humongous journey here on my channel. And we're today going through the land of weather, the worldwide weather incorporated. In our episode today in Pajama Sam, thunder and lightning aren't so frightening. So, roll the intro.
Hold it right there, Earthquaker. Stop that evil doing.
Your low-calorie threats mean nothing to me. Take that, Captain Skeleton.
Can't stop shaking. Ha! You and your lunchboxes are no match for the foul weatherman. Now, we shall take the cosmic eraser, and with it, we shall control the world!
Not so fast, Dust Devil!
Pajama Man! I'll spin you to the four corners of the earth, do-gooder!
My handy-dandy Pajama Man superpower back says different!
Pajama Man, you
Exactly!
All right!
So, Pajama Sam 2 is of course a sequel to the much beloved Pajama Sam No Need to Hide When It's Dark Outside, which is one of the most famous, beloved, humongous entertainment games. And we are taking place in a much brighter, much more expressive area in Pajama Sam's imagination. This time, instead of tackling the fear of the dark, we are tackling the fear of thunderstorms, thunder and lightning, the weather, spooky weather. And we're going to be going through a brand new world of new characters, obviously. I don't know why I'm talking like you guys don't know what a humongous entertainment game is. Of course you do. Before I get into this, there's a really, really great feature that this game implements that not many of these humongous entertainment games do. And you're able to pick what playthrough you want to choose. So, as I mentioned before in these humongous entertainment games, you have different pathways that are randomly generated as you start the game. So whether or not that's finding different objects in different places, sometimes the paths are completely different from one another, whether you can have 2 different playthroughs, 4 different playthroughs, sometimes no matter how big the branches get, they're always randomly chosen beforehand. But in this game, you're able to choose what playthrough you want to pick. Now, I don't know if these 6 are the only options, or if you can randomly generate, this goes there, whatever, because hypothetically, it should be more than 6, because this time there are 4 things we're looking for, 4 pieces of different weather machines, 4 characters in different places, whether that's the astronomometer, whether that's the Y-pipe, whether that's the snowflake inspector, or that is the wing nut. And all these characters are in different places, and they each have 2 places they can be. There's 4 of them, so hypothetically there should be at least 8 different playthroughs, but I don't know if different ones kind of cross paths in a different way, or they just couldn't make an easy save space for all of them. Either way, a great option to be able to pick what playthrough you want. So I was able to pick my favorite of all of them in this playthrough. My favorite locale and my favorite puzzle for each of these. And I said this will differentiate between different people, but by doing it this way, you're able to replay the game in any way you want. And if you have a favorite way, if you have a way you don't know how to beat, and you've got to save, it's great. But for the game itself, we're back in Pajama Sam's pajamas instead of shoes. That's the joke there, obviously. We go into his attic, which in his head is where the weather lives. And we meet Thunder and Lightning, who control the weather, and we accidentally screw it all up. So there's hurricanes in Toledo, there's glaciers in Egypt, and the weather's messed up. It's no good. And so we need to fix it, like I said, by finding the 4 pieces that I was talking about earlier. And is this game better than the first? I want to get into that right now. I always liked it as a kid more. I like the brighter colors more, I like the different characters more, I like the music more. Something about it. I like bright, cheery, colorful things, so it spoke to me in a different way. As an adult, I love the artistic vision of The Land of Darkness. I love the characters more. This one I think is funnier still. Jokes that I would not have gotten as a kid, I get now. I think the whole thing with Carrot, who's a returning character, throughout the entire game, there's returning characters plastered on the walls, different references here and there. There's this one whole thing with the board members of Worldwide Weather Incorporated, who are boards, who, of course, it's a joke that wouldn't have flown over my head. Very clever pun. And there's a chairman of the board. Again, incredibly clever. The boardroom, because it's boards. There's this weird hostile takeover where you become a board member and then Carrot takes your place, but he knows a lot about economics, so he makes the board happier, so he overrules the chairman and he becomes the chairman. Very silly stuff. There's also a joke about needing to make an appointment. So of course Sam doesn't know anybody, so he just calls up the appointment line and he's like, I want to make an appointment to see someone. And luckily there's someone named George Someone who can meet with you immediately.
Worldwide Weather, how may I help you?
I'd like to make an appointment to see someone.
Certainly, let me check his calendar. Yes, Mr. Someone is available immediately. I'll pencil you in. What is your name?
I'm Pajama Sam. I'm
Very
helping.
good, Mr. Sam. Mr. Someone will see you just as soon as you arrive. Goodbye.
And he's a stapler remover. I don't know why that's so hard for me to say. And he loves apples. And so many pieces about these characters, they're so clever. Because he's a stapler remover, right? The guy right next to him, the office down from him who runs the supply room, is a stapler. So he's petrified of him. He must be his boss or something. Is terrified of the guy. That, beyond clever. I mean, taking a concept like the weather being like a manufactured like business isn't wholly new. I've definitely seen it places before, but this game does it so well, and it really focuses on every different type of weather. Like you can go to a greenhouse and grow different weather. You can also grow different plants too, but you can see how you grow an apple tree, a banana tree, eggplant tree, which isn't a tree, but I mean, go figure. And you can grow tornadoes and hurricanes and all sorts of fun stuff. You can grow a rainbow, which you'll need to access stuff later. There are some puzzles in this game that are quite tough, I will say. If you don't know, you really gotta search. Some hyper-specific things about go here, do this one thing, bring it back. It's a lot of back and forth. This is a tougher game, and like I've said before, Pajama Sam is on the higher level of Humongous Entertainment. Now that I've talked about all four of them, I've said my ranking before. I think Putt Putt's the easiest, followed by Freddy Fish, followed by Pajama Sam, and then Spy Fox on top. But this one shows that it can be tough in some aspects, and there were a couple puzzles that, even though I played this game dozens of times as a kid, I've even played it with my little nephew more recently, and he really enjoys it. This is his favorite Humongous game that I've shown him, so it held a special place in my heart for that. The first one we beat together. It's tough. Some puzzles are tough, and I forgot a couple of them, and I had to really look around and really try to search deep within to try to find what's the answer. Dan, do you remember, or do you have to try to figure it out? Obviously, I beat it because I'm the master of these games, but yeah. So finding all these characters, Wingnut was always my favorite as a kid. I just liked bruiser types, and he kind of amplified that. He doesn't really scream that to me now. I don't know why I thought that as a kid. The Osteomometer is a cute little guy. His puzzle her puzzle, I think it's a girl, with the wind thing is still to this day hurts my brain a little bit because you have to turn it a certain way and the wind will move in a certain direction. I always get it backwards to how it's supposed to be looking, and I don't know. That part's always confused me, but it's easy enough to just backtrack it. It's a couple screens. So there's the Snowflake Inspector, which depending on what version you play is sometimes a huge crybaby and sometimes it's just a fine dude. Because one of them you have to get the Snowflake Inspector detector. You give him the power of the sun, you charge him up, you find the guy, and then he's like, I don't want to come back to work, I don't feel appreciated, and it's this whole thing. But I didn't do that one. In this one, he's just a guy that got lost, and he was ready to go back to his job. And then there's the why pipe, which easy enough joke. It's a why pipe. It asks why for everything you tell it. And yeah, again, though pretty clever. This whole game, like I said, might be the most clever Humongous game, I mean, at least that I've replayed in recent history. I think if you love like spy movies, especially James Bond, then Spy Fox would suit your fancy more. But in terms of just pure like writing, pure character description, like I can remember so many characters in this game. Like just the ones I said. There's Foster Boondoggle, who's like a pen. You don't even meet him. You find his ID card until you get into the place.
Worldwide Weather Employee Identification Card. Foster Boondoggle. Do not lose this card.
You need his birthday so you can open his locker.
Do you know the combination to this lock?
Why do you ask me? I don't even know whose locker this is.
Oh, that's Foster Boondoggle's locker. He always uses his birthday as the combination.
Like, he's a recurring character in this, and you never actually meet the guy. I don't know if we meet him in future Pajama Sam games that I'm forgetting, but Foster Boondoggle was always a name that I will always remember, but I've never met him in real life. But that's essentially it. You know, you find all the pieces to the weather machines, you bring them back where they need to go. Wingnut somehow got himself stuck in some rainwater. I mean, that's fun. You bottle up the rainwater. You can the sun. Here's a great example of something. So, in one of the playthroughs, like I was saying before, with the snowflake inspector detector, you need a can opener to open the sun can, right? So you look around, you find a can opener. And so it's easy when you have that in congruation with the one with Wingnut stuck in the rain, because he gets stuck in a water bottle. But you also have to use the can opener to open the bottle of water, right? But if you don't, then it's tough either way. Some playthroughs this game is easier, some playthroughs it's tougher because it's individualized. And then sometimes, right, if you just played it with a can opener, you thought it was just a can opener, and you wouldn't even thought it was also a bottle opener. So this game could be a little bit tough. It can be a little bit tough if you're not prepared for it. A little bit of challenge in these games is always accepted. In terms of side content, there is a little board game, which I think is the biggest side content in any of these games. I didn't play through the whole thing. It's a very simple, Sorry-esque board game, which you can play up to 4 players, which is kind of crazy. But that's pretty cool that they included that little side mode in this. They didn't have to do that. The world itself, though, will always be ingrained in my brain. The whole map of this place, like most of these, are really in there. Pajama Sam 2 is one of my favorites. I mean, I say that about a lot of these, but this one is another great one of the Pajama Sam franchise, and I'm happy to be, I'm always happy to play one of these games, but this one, really, really fun. So,
this controls how much rain there is. And this one is a volume control for the caboose!
Oh boy!
have you played Pajama Sam 2? What's your favorite Pajama Sam game? I know we have a couple more coming up. These, looking at my timeline for these games, we're cruising along at a decent pace, and, I'm having fun playing through these games again. I'm hoping you guys are having fun watching them. But that'll about do it for me today. Thank you so very much for watching, and as always, like this if you like this, subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you at some point.